Greetings, shalom, blessings, everyone. I'm Sister Cece. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another episode of WONI Community Focus, which you can listen to on WONI Radio. Make sure you download that app, WONI, and also look us up at the number onenationisrael.com. And you can listen to WONI Community Focus on Sundays, which is, 12:15 and 6:15 p.m. on WONI, also on WHOI at 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Make sure you listen in, and get all the nuggets from our people, because Yah has blessed them to give us information. And today we are talking to our wonderful sister and brother, Dawn and Kenney. Welcome, Dawn and Kenney of Relationship Restoration Coaching.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we are excited to finally talk to you. I tried to get a hold of them like a year ago, and they're just busy. Just busy. With a capital P.
Look, don't charge it to our head, or no, don't charge it to our heart. Charge it to our head.
No, we're gonna charge it to truth, because I mean, there's been a lot going on here in the last couple of years. So when people say that they're busy, maybe before they might not have been telling the truth, but now people are telling the truth when they say they're busy. Even if it's just busy recovering, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Folks are busy because there's a lot going on physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, all kind of things going on. So we know that you're going to help us unbusy ourselves to take care of our relationships. So why don't we talk about your business? But first, what we're going to do is ask the both of you, how has the word of Yah changed your life?
So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go?
You can go first.
So I mean, I would have to say it just went all the way back to me as a 21-year-old woman who just had, came to the end of my own rope. And I was struggling. I was really struggling. I was pregnant with our third child, and we weren't married yet at the time. And I just knew I needed to do something. So yes, it was under the umbrella of Christianity. But that was when, I really surrendered my life and surrendered my heart to the Most High through His Son, and allowed Him to, just come in and start to clean me up, because I was, like a hot mess. So from there, His word just, began to cleanse me and shape me and mold me, and and then I started to evolve, and of course evolve some more to where we are now, and still evolving, not done, still being cleansed, still being worked on. But it was back in 2001 where I was like, okay, Father, yes, with everything, yes. And I remember, and it's funny that you said, how has His word worked, because my prayer was, your word has to work for me. I need it to work for me. And so He's just been showing himself by His Spirit. And it's been this journey. It's been up and down. It's been the valleys and mountaintops, but every step of the way has been absolutely amazing, and I wouldn't trade it, and I would never go back to that dark place that I was in.
Well, praise Yah for that testimony, because the thing is this: a lot of us have come from Christianity, and people have a testimony, and it's so funny because they all sound pretty similar. Like, just being in a really low down place, and you might have been going to church every single week. You might have been there Wednesday. You might have been there Saturday night, but still there's just the element of truth that was not being given to us. And that leaves like a void and a blockage. And then you're like, you know what? Are you real, God, at the time? Just kind of reminds me of that book from way back when. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. I mean, that was a long time ago, but that was the girl's issue. It's like, okay, God, are you there? Like, if you're there, can you please help me?
Right. Yeah.
So that totally assists like what you're talking about. You were in that dark place, and He was able to move you forward, and that's a blessing. Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, sir?
Actually, like just what you said, yeah, are you there? Where are you? For me, I started in 2001. I believe it was June.
Mhm.
I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. I knew that I went to church,
Mhm.
and I was moved by His Spirit.
Yes.
And that was June. And then September, I lost my mother.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge, like from there just on.
Mhm.
I was seeking and I was searching, and
Mhm.
you know, because at that point I just came into relationship with him. So to me, it was almost like I finally give myself to you, and this is what happens.
Mm.
So it was a rocky road, but what I love about him and what he done for me is
Mhm.
he truly showed me how to have a relationship with him.
Mhm.
In the midst of it, I was trying to do what everybody else was doing, trying to gravitate to the Most High, the way everybody else pictured it.
Mhm.
You know, are you supposed to have praise in your mouth all the time? You're supposed to have honor and respect, and you're never supposed anything out of that, then you have the problem. But see, he's a true father because he accepted me from where I was at the time.
Right.
He gave me his love and his compassion and his understanding.
Mhm.
And that's what brought me here to where I am today.
You know, I like what you just talked about, you losing your mother, and see, you gave your life over to him, and it's like, wow, is this what it looks like? You're gonna start taking stuff? Like, do I look like Job? Is that my name? You know, and people people like to attribute things to Job. It's like, look, you are not having a Job moment. Let me break it down to you, let you know what Job lost. You know, you might have something bad going on, but it's not a Job moment. So let's just be clear. But the thing is, because Yah is all knowing, he does allow, however, things and places and people to shift, move, die off, and it puts you in a different position to receive from him. Because oftentimes you can see, had this not happened, then other things would not have happened. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I mean, it like me, I have the same thing. Like my mom, you know, passed away as well. And I'm like, man, okay, if she, like, I'll like do the math. Like, if she would have lived 4 more years, she would have been here to be a great grandmother. Like, how is this helpful? You know, and you just come up with all this nostalgia in your mind, but then you have to go back to, no, yeah, I trust you. You knew that certain things were going to be happening and that they had to happen, that you needed to make this happen in order for this to happen, in order to get me to where you decided that I should be, you know. Jeremiah 29:11, you know, he has the thoughts and plans for us. But again, we can slip back into nostalgia and think about, oh, what about this? And this could have been this way. And she could have been here making cakes and all that. I mean, that was not my mom. So I don't even know why I would start thinking, but that's the trick of the enemy, you know, because you'll start thinking of those things and you'll start blaming Yah. And it's like, no, Yah is all knowing. And he decided to allow certain things to happen in order for you to be where you are today, which is, you know, it's a blessing. Like you said, Dawn, I wouldn't change a thing. We have to be in that place all the time. Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing because I'm with you. You are with me. We are together. So I wouldn't change a thing. Now, if I'm in sin, oh goodness, I would change many things. But because you are with me, hey, I wouldn't change a thing. So it becomes a wonderful testimony in the end. Yes, it is sad, but you know, there's a time for everything. So I like that testimony.
And you know, ironically, at that point, I mean, this is after that I had better understanding. Yeah, he is here for everybody. He knows what everybody needs.
Yes.
My mother needed what she needed at the time. Was to go home with him. And it was devastating for me, and my siblings, but it's like he was her father too. So just because I felt how I felt didn't negate the fact that he had a responsibility to her as well.
That's true. And you don't know the intricacies of all these things. Only the one that created it all does. So you have to continue to trust him and thank him for the time that he allowed you to have, you know,
Exactly.
you know, that's the thing, because whatever she did impart into you, help you be who you are today, whether it been good, bad, ugly, or indifferent or whatever, it still helped you to be who you are today, which is a man and a couple deciding to serve the Most High Yah. So praise Yah for that.
Praise Yah.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, so let's get on with the questions. So let's talk about the business itself, relationship restoration coaching. Now, of course, there's many things that we can ask, but you have an actual PowerPoint for us, and you're going to give us a presentation of what it is that you're offering. So you want to pull that up on your side?
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull that up.
Okay.
And only because we don't want to miss anything.
Please don't miss anything. Because I will talk about everything else and we will miss few things. So, pull it up.
So are you able to see it?
I see it. It is a beautiful purple poster. And then I see a beautiful picture of you two sitting side by side. Yes.
Yes, yes. So you'll see we're all about really rediscover, repair, restore. So those are like our anchor words, for lack of a better word. But you'll see, now let me go to, there we go, about us. So, you know, we started out as teenage sweethearts who evolved from dating to 21 years of marriage. We have 5 children of our own. We have 4 sons and 1 daughter. Our daughter is the youngest, so you know who's most in control.
Yes, girls.
Yes. And so she's the youngest. She's 15. Our boys we have one that's actually about to turn 19 next week. And then we have a 21-year-old, a 23-year-old, and a 25-year-old.
Okay.
So we've also been instrumental in caring for his 4 siblings because, like he said, when his mother passed away and then a few years later, their father passed away, then, you know, we needed to be able to step in and take care of the 4 siblings. So that's what we did. So we also know what it's like to be in somewhat of a blended home, even though it wasn't your normal, you know, usually when you think of blended home, you think of, you know, he has children, stepchildren and all of that.
Brady Bunch.
Right. But in our case, we were taking care of his siblings.
Okay.
And so, you know, we're rooted and grounded in our own personal relationship with the Most High. Like, as a result, we've learned to live expressively through that and through his spirit, by the love and the relationship that we've learned, you know, from him. And not only with each other, but we've learned to show that with our children and with everyone else that is in our life. So, you know, so we really like harp on relationship because we just found out that really our relationship with each other starts with what we have with the Most High.
Yes.
You know, if we don't know how to really receive him as Father and really receive of his love and, you know, his forgiveness and all of those things, patience, kindness, like all of the fruits of the Spirit.
Right.
You know, if we don't know how to receive that from our Heavenly Father, then it's kind of hard to pour that back out into others.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And we can carry on a facade of those things. I mean, actually, the world has taught us to do that. But at the end of everything, you'll just still have a broken relationship because things will just start really showing them their true selves. And things are not going to connect and they're not going to flow like they should. So and I think it's an ongoing work. You know what I mean?
It is. Absolutely.
It's trial and error because at each juncture of this is like in this word, the more you read and you learn the scriptures, it opens up a new avenue or a new understanding in you.
Right.
same thing with relationship. The more we experience, the more of the trial and the error of trying to work through all of the road bumps. It's like you learn to make better decisions, and you learn how to structure yourself a little bit better, so that you can be able to receive and have wise judgment when it comes to how you express yourself afterwards.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
true. That's absolutely true.
So through, through our own experience and, literally growing up together and going through so many different, stages and phases of life. Now we're like in our 40s, and it's like, looking back to when we were teenagers to now, it was definitely like constant evolving and growing and relearning each other over and over again. It was definitely a challenge. But in that, the Most High started to deal with us about, like, now you have to be able to tell your story, and you have to share what you've been through. You have to share the tools that you've learned, as a result of the trials and errors, and so that's what we were compelled to do that. And so we want to be able to offer the tools that will empower and encourage and educate people, to rediscover purpose, because that's like an ongoing thing of, okay, why are we here? What are we doing? Why are we married? Why did we decide to stay together? You have to revisit that. And then, of course, wanting to help people repair and restore their relationships. So we offer coaching services to individuals, teens, marriages, and families.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, there is a stereotypical saying, and I really don't like it because I don't think it's that true. I think it might be sort of true, but it's true for some people. How difficult is it for us as a people to seek such services? Do you find that there is still like an opposition of people, not really wanting to get this type of help, or are people more open to it now?
I think people are more open to it now, but it does have a stigma. Because, and especially in our community, because we some prideful people. We don't want people to know that we struggle or that we having a hard time. We become very, very good at facades. That's what we become excellent. People are putting on masks. And no, we're gonna look like, darn it, we are happy. You hear me? And
this is how you better smile, because we're happy.
You better smile, and it's like, nah, we ain't happy. Like, and it's okay to be able to say that we really need some assistance here, and we've come to a roadblock in our journey together. And sometimes you need an outside source, to help you, because if you're stuck with yourself and your own mind and your own thinking, all you're going to be able to produce is what's in you. There's no other perspective. So yeah, I think that within our community, especially, it's difficult because people are not always willing to be forthcoming about where they really are.
With, I believe that is generational. Because a lot of folks back in the day, you never talk about nothing out there in the street. What goes on in this house, it stays in this house. And women were getting beaten. Fathers were mistreating the children. A lot of boyfriends might end up touching your children. They can't say anything. And it's like, by it being structured like that, and nobody really being there to protect, the families. That's why a lot of that stuff went on. And the enemy, he's always trying to keep something to tear us down going. A lot of people are now, because of technology, they're able to be more focused and free and understanding that a lot of the things that were trending back then are no longer necessary because we're in a different era now. you
We
know.
definitely are.
And then
Yeah.
people are also recognizing that what we've been doing no longer works.
It definitely.
It doesn't work. And that's the one thing I really do love about the younger generation,
Mhm.
because they are really coming into like, I'm sorry, like y'all did that. And we get mad at them because they could be a little bit on the rebellious side.
Uh-huh.
But I believe that the Most High is gonna work through that. Like,
Yeah.
because their rebellion is saying that don't work. Like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And I'm going to get counseling, and I'm going to get, therapy or coaching or whatever it is. Like, I'm not, yeah. Like, I'm not going to keep this for any longer. We need to talk about this. Like, we're not keeping any more secrets anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I think that at a certain, because think about when you were young, you were free and fearless and you were ready to jump off the roof and fly as if you had wings.
Yeah.
I think that we all, for the most part, have that, where it's like this energizer thing in us where we're like, no, y'all, no, I'm not eating pork. I'm not doing this, but then as life happens, the deterioration of that comes in. And then I don't know if it's just fear or what, but just all these different issues of life heap on you. So therefore you just kind of become complacent and you become what everybody else is. But if you are of a certain age, you're like, what? I don't have those weights. So let me just go ahead and do what needs to be done for myself. Like you said, I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm gonna go get therapy. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna learn how to pray, and it's good that the youth are being that way, but that's where we have to be there to say, wait a minute, no, don't go to yoga, don't go get into the chakras and all these different things, because all roads do not lead to Yah, because that is what the world would tell them, and then they'll be in an even more messed up situation because they aren't being led in the right direction. So we have to even pray for the rebellion that they're in, that it be like a righteous rebellion, that Yah install in them the ears to hear righteous words and righteous people like yourselves as a couple who want to lead them in the right direction, because there's just so much foolishness out here with elders. They're not really elders, they're olders. You see so much going on. Up here trying to rap, like with the bald spot and still got long, still trying to rap. And we don't need that. We need people who are just deciding, okay, I'm gonna be an elder. And I'm going to tell them, yes, hey, you know what you're doing, that's good. That's not bad. That's good. But let's just garner in the right direction,
Shape them and mold that.
Yes.
And that's why Kenney and I, we always talk about, like, it starts with us. And it starts with us getting ourselves in order, and our marriages in order, because we're like the eldership. Marriage is the eldership in the home. Yeah. And so when we're off, then we can't expect everything else to be in alignment if we're out of alignment.
No.
Out all of these other things, because they're lost. They don't have anybody.
They're trying to find their own way.
Yeah. What is it? When the head is off, the whole body is off. When the head is sick, the whole body is sick, So that's the way we have to operate, It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's keep going.
So our vision is, and it says here, relationship restoration coaching services endeavors to honor the sanctity of family and strengthen the family unit. We want to help restore relationships between husband and wife, parent and child, and spark a fire of love, unity, and joy within a home. So that's ultimately our vision and why we're here. Yeah. And our mission is to partner with individuals within marriages and families seeking to restore and strengthen cherished relationships back to optimal health. We are committed to empower, encourage, and educate people to rediscover purpose, achieve personal renewal through self-awareness, develop a skill set, and gain tools for relationship building and conflict resolution. So we plan to have this accomplished through personalized coaching sessions, webinars, conferences, retreats, and etc. So that's our mission.
Wow, that is an excellent plan. Praise Yah for the plan to rebuild and restore his people. Wonderful.
Yes,
Yeah.
hallelujah.
That is a really good thing. Now we're talking about this now. How do you all, as a couple, perform in this service for us out here who are wayward in our relationships? How do you all keep your relationship kind of intact? Like, how do what do you have built into your relationship to keep it together so that you can continue being the shining example that we all would need to see?
We practice what we preach.
Okay.
We take the time to talk to each other.
Mhm.
We always try to use being attentive to each
Mhm.
other's words and where we are currently, because sometimes we don't like to listen because of emotions or how you feel at the time. But we make it a point to listen. We
Mhm.
make it a point to understand and allow the person to actually give you the information that you need so that you can help them
Mhm.
through whatever they're going through, whether it's something good or bad or indifferent.
Mhm.
We try not to judge or to overtalk each other, and it's work.
Absolutely.
It's not something that we just always do. We're human, but we've learned the tools that we have to do for effective communication. That's why we have to. That's like our fail safe, or what we revert to as a skill set in ourselves, so that we can try to keep our relationship intact.
Wow, that's amazing.
And we do things like we break away and we, spend time with just the two of us where, we have our family moments, but then we have our own moment where, we'll go away for, even if it's just a weekend or overnight. Sometimes it's just an overnight trip, where we'll just go and just have one-on-one time with each other. But then we always say, like, every coach needs a coach. So, we also put our own selves through listening to, get some tools and listen to different, webinars and things like that. And like, for example, we just attended earlier this year, Eric, brother Eric and sister Elaine's coaching session that they had. Like, it was a whole week.
Yeah.
Where we were there, and we were there to be poured into.
We can't, just like we said before, we can't just always sharpen ourselves.
Yeah, like iron sharpens iron. So you need to also be able, if you're going to coach others, you have to be coached as well. So those are probably all of the things, and we try to live a very, very balanced life.
Okay.
Where, we make time for each other personally. We make time to be inclusive as a family. We make time to have fun. We make time to minister to the Most High's people. We make time to do business. You know what I mean? We look at it like the Most High gave us all these pieces, and we need to make them all equal and important. So we try to live based off of that.
Wow, that's an amazing feature in your marriage to actually make time. Because if you make time, then you don't have to force time,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to feel intrusive. It's like, okay, well, I want to talk to you, but you can't talk to me because I'm trying to do this, but I'll talk to you while I'm doing this, which means I'm not really giving you the attention that you deserve. So that's like forcing it. Therefore, I end up feeling like, oh, he really didn't want to have time for me. So
you have to
decide, okay, between 12 and 1, we're going to talk about this thing and, whatever. So just actually to schedule these things, that is
like, this is our time.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people could use these tools that you're talking of. So we appreciate the example. Now, there is a retreat coming up. Talk to us about this retreat that you have. Oh, no, you still have some more.
Yes, well, let me go. I can go ahead, and because this is just our core values, and I can go through that really quickly to empower, encourage, educate, be truthful, be relational, and show love. So that is our core values. That is what anchors us.
Okay.
Before we talk about the retreat, I know you had a question about what is the difference between coaching and counseling. Are you okay with going over that really quickly?
I am okay with everything that you have to give, and forgive me if I am rushing you because I did not mean to do that.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead and tell us the difference between the coaching and counseling and therapy.
Yes. So a lot of people have this question, and it's a very good question. And so you'll see here that coaching is more future focused, it's goal oriented, whereas counseling or therapy is past focused. You're like really focused on the past. Coaching is solution focused, whereas counseling is problem focused. Coaching works towards outcomes because it's goal oriented, whereas counseling or therapy works towards getting to the root of emotion. You know, why are you feeling the way you feel, you know, type of thing. Coaching clients are asking the question, how can we change? Like, I'm ready, how can we do this? Whereas therapy or clients of therapy or counseling are asking the question, why should we change? So the question is different. And our coaching services, we're rooted in biblical principles and guided by the Spirit of the Most High. Where a lot of times in therapy or counseling is rooted in psychology and psychotherapy and
psychobabble.
Psycho, right? And then the final thing is that the client is coached to find their own solutions. So we're not trying to be necessarily the expert. We're trying to pull out what's already in you that works for your marriage. Because what may work for my marriage may not work for your marriage, or you know, vice versa. So we want to get you to think about what it is that you need, so we can kind of pull that out of you. So because if it comes out of you, then it's more lasting.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
It's authentic, it's organic.
Exactly.
Wow.
Whereas with when you go see a counselor or a therapist, they have the answers, they're giving diagnosis and they're doing treatment, you know. We're not doing that. So we're not on that that side of. Now I do that like full time in my full time position, but in relationship restoration, this is what we're doing. We're coaching marriages, you know, to go where they want to go. So they have a vision, and we're just helping them get to the destination.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep. And you'll notice the other thing I want to add with counseling, that can take years and years and years, because you're really just focused a lot on how I feel about this and all of the deeply rooted feelings and emotions about things, which is not, it's not bad, because some people really do need that, especially if you're dealing with mental illness, you know, and things like that. So sometimes it's necessary, right? But for most people, it's like, all right, here's the problem. How do I get through this? You know, like they're just ready for change. So
and I think oftentimes counseling and therapy can be kind of tricky. I mean, just like everything else, you have to know how to vet the appropriate person for your situation. I mean, I've had about 2 therapists myself that they ended up laying on the couch and I became the therapist after. And it's like, wait, well, how did this happen? You know, I remember one time in particular, like the gentleman, he just ended up well, you know, I need to figure out how I can do this with my brother. And I was like, okay, this is going to be my last time here, because you sometimes if they have started in this profession for the wrong reason and with another spirit, which is not the Holy Spirit, you're going to end up with somebody who is more twisted than you know. So you just have you have to be led by the Most High concerning, you know, these matters. So
absolutely.
That's my little blurb for that.
So, you know, as you see here, coaching is for people who are ready to make changes in their lives and need assistance navigating toward their desired outcome.
Yes.
That's what it basically, in a nutshell, that's what it is.
Mhm.
And so our coaching or relationship coaching is designed to promote self-discovery, which is fundamental towards happy and healthy relationships. You got to first know who you are in order to be able to be what we call emotionally intelligent. You got to understand your own stuff to be able to understand other people.
That's true.
And so then, we want to help unify and empower marriages, because empowered marriages create a firm foundation for happy homes and fulfillment in their relationship.
Right.
And then strengthen the family unit. Healthy family relationships causes each member to be happy and secure, which results in a home filled with love, peace, joy, and unity. And what's not on here is when you have a healthy family unit, now you're able to build healthy communities. So if we want to be able to help our brothers and sisters of the Most High, then we first got to start at home. And a lot of us are doing it the opposite way. We're going out and being everything for the community, and our homes are falling apart.
That's true. That's true. And then you wonder why you don't want to come home.
Yeah.
Right.
Have so much work, but you want to work.
Right. So the services we offer is marriage and premarital coaching, one-on-one coaching, team coaching, and family coaching. All of our coaching services are personalized and insightful, and they're designed to equip, empower, unify, and strengthen. Whether we're talking about the individual, the marriage, the pre-marriage, the team. And we really, have a burden for the teens as well, because they are they're kind of like in an in-between stage. They're transitioning from adolescency into adulthood. And so a lot of times they're not being heard or understood. They don't quite always know how to communicate or express themselves. And so sometimes they just need the time to be able to talk to somebody who will cast down the judgments and just say, hey, just tell me you. Let me hear what's on your mind.
But you know what about teenagers? This is what I was just thinking now. Of course, we were all teenagers, but why is it when we become adults, we act like the teenage stage is some limbo that is out of this world that we have no clue about when we were once there?
Right, we were once there.
It's like the craziest thing. I mean, I know that I was a teenager and I know what I was going through at the time as a teenager. So when my children become teenagers, why do I become so disconnected to what their needs might be? Isn't that crazy?
We all do.
Or we act like we was just perfect little endearing children, and we had common sense and everything, and I don't even understand why you making these kind of dumb mistakes, because that don't even make no sense when our mistakes was probably dumber.
Yes, the dumbest. Okay, we should sometimes have a dunce cap on. Yes,
I'm telling. And just being very transparent, when I look at my children compared to my life when I was their age, I'm like, Most High, you did that. And that's with their stuff. That's what they not angels neither.
Right.
And all of them got their own little thing that they're working through. But when I look at their little thing that they working through compared to my stuff that I'd be like, oh, Father, thank you. You know what I mean? Because they literally are nothing like
that. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. And I think part of it, like what you said, just kind of resonated with me. Because like we talked about before, we are people that love to put up a facade, but then when our children have issues, because a lot of times things do arise when they become teenagers, when they have issues, we don't want anybody to know about that. So we want to quickly smooth it over, cover it up, don't talk about it. They shouldn't talk about it, which leaves them in a worse state. And we might even do the knee-jerk thing, which is to go ahead and throw them in some kind of counseling, just to say that we put them in some counseling. But is the counseling really helping them? Is the therapy really helping them? the drugs that they might put them on or whatever, is that really helping them? No. Like, you're not really trying to get them to, like you said before, know who they are, because how can they be equipped to go out into the public until they know who they are? And they are really in an age of discovery. They're being infiltrated by so many different things in their environment. Even if you just simply homeschool them, still they're coming of age. So it is a lot that they have to take in as tools in order to be able to be equipped in this world. Now, if they're in the public system and they have all these different friends, you really are dealing with a lot of things. So how in the world could you expect them to be, quote, normal? I mean, the normal is them evolving and becoming who they need to be. But if you just brushing things over, I mean, that's not allowing the proper platform for them to actually learn who they need to be. And like I said, for me, I mean, I look back, I'm like, I was not good when my children were teenagers. I mean, I look back now, I'm like, what was wrong with me? You like, why didn't I stop and take the time out and just be like, in their lives? Because I basically had 3 teenagers at one time. That could be an overload within itself, you know.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't matter. If you have decided to have these children, which you did, you know, hey, you got to give the time to, you got to give the effort. Because if you don't take the time now, you're going to take the time later on.
And taking that time is going to be the difference between something that's going to be, you know, small and minute, or something that's just going to be just the size of the world that you have to try to fix at that point. But it's like, if you're trying to, you know, if you're mindful of it as you're walking through it, the one thing that I've learned about teenagers the most is that they love to be heard. And they love for you to give suggestions, but them have a choice.
Right.
When they have a choice, they're more conducive, ironically, to choose what you want them to do anyway. But by you giving them the choice, it just makes it easier for them and make them happy in the process.
Because what Kenny and I did was we would tell them, okay, if you go this direction, this is what's going to meet you on this road. If you go that direction, this is what's going to meet you on that road. Ultimately, it's your choice, and you need to be okay with the fruit of that choice. So you make the choice. We're here, but I'm telling you what's going to happen either way. And so what that did is that allowed them to better make their own choices. Because like we talked about before, when you pull out the answers out of people, it becomes their decision. And they're able to make a choice that they will stick by. You know what I mean? Because it's theirs. Now, opposed to do what I say, do what I say, do what I say. All right, I'm gonna do what you say. But when I turn 18, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm going out here and do whatever I'm big and bad enough to do, because I never had an opportunity to choose.
Right.
You see what I mean? So if we say that we're the people of the Most High and we're putting things in them, we're putting values in them. We've taught them prayer, we've taught them scripture, we've taught them all of these things, and eventually we have to allow them to use the tools that we put in them. Just tell them, okay, your decision. But if you do this, this is what you're gonna, face. If you do that, this is what you'll face, and you be the judge of that. And stick by your decision. That's what I tell my children. You stick by your decision, and you can't place any blame on anybody but you, because you decided.
Right. Nobody held the gun to your head. You made that decision on your own. So therefore, standing by it. Wow, that's powerful.
Ironically, that's what the Most High does with us.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what he does. So why not use the principles to try to keep our family together?
Yeah, because he is the ultimate parent, the ultimate teacher. He is the great I am. He knows all. So yeah, we do have to follow his excellent example of parentage. And, I thought about this too before, many of us have come from many different various households, broken situations and whatever. And we like to say, well, I didn't have a dad, or I didn't have a mom, or I didn't have parents, or
Yeah.
this, that, and the other. But if you are in the Most High, you no longer get to use that anymore, because you're able to reflect and look back and see where he's parented you the whole time. Matter of fact, he's still parenting you now.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how do we have a right to treat the children that he lent us
Yeah.
any different than he treats us as his children?
Exactly.
We don't have a right.
Don't have a right.
And we don't, and even in the, you know, I always go back to the dumb stuff. He was there for us in the dumb stuff. I can testify, witness, all kinds of things. We'd be here hours if I told you some of the things that he literally like saved and delivered me from. Even in my dumbness, like for real, he was still a father to me. He didn't cast me away. He didn't tell me, you know what, that's just a little bit too much for me. I don't want nothing to do with you. He didn't do none of that. He didn't say,
took it too far, Dawn. I'm not going to do anything now.
You know, but seriously, he didn't. So, you know, he let me mess up sometimes. And sometimes he was like, oh no, let me snatch her right on back from that, because that's a no. You know, but still, he was still waiting for me with open arms.
Yes.
To receive me and love on me. You know, like the scripture in Ezekiel that says, I saw you polluted in your own blood, but yet I said, live. You know, so my thing is, if that is his position towards us, then how do we have a right, or why do we feel like we have a right to be any other way towards the human beings that he lent to us?
I'll tell you why. Because I always say this, we have grown up watching way too much TV. One, you talk about the blended family or whatever, that's the Brady Bunch. Okay. That is so fake. That whole thing was fake. It was a facade. Blended families do not work like that. Okay. It's a whole lot of other issues. And just so many other things concerning TV. And we want to be the Wizard of Oz over our we want to control everything, you know. We want to be the man behind the curtain, that little tiny man behind the curtain, pulling the strings, you know, making the booming noises and making them afraid of us, when that doesn't produce anything, whether it be with your children or your spouse. You can't be the Wizard of Oz, you know, because y'all don't act like the Wizard of Oz with us. You know, he doesn't do that. And he is the great I am, you know. So we have to consider all these things. And I think that in the service that you're providing, again, you know, allowing people to have self-reflection and undoing a lot of those things, like, why have I learned to be so controlling? You know, maybe it's something from childhood where you didn't have any control. Now you're like, well, I got to have control. So now you're installing that same poison into your children, and that's not helping them later on. That's not helping them, you know, now it's not helping them at all. So we have to continue to undo those things that have been done so that we can be right within our families and, like you said, in the community.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a session for me. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. How much is it? What 99? Okay, let me cash app you. Where's
well, not cash app, but but this right here, and we are so excited about this. Our upcoming event, which is Reignite, and it's our virtual marriage retreat. And so, you know, like you see here, are you looking to strengthen your marriage and bring excitement back into it? And then, you know, even for the newlyweds, because I know, congratulations on your newlywed. Your son. Yes, your son. Congratulations.
We'll bring that up in the end. I was going to try to bring it up now, but we probably should wait, because I don't know what the technology will do. You share and I'm sharing. I don't know how that works. So we'll just
okay.
We'll wait to share. But not only that, my son got married, what was it, Thursday? And that's a whole testimony behind that, a whole
Wow.
testimony. So I'm thankful
Yeah.
to the Most High Yah for providing him a wonderful, beautiful, I'll just call her Jamaican princess. No, because I love her so much already, you know, but
Yeah.
willing to follow him as he follows
That's
Yah.
awesome.
You
That's
know,
awesome.
Yes.
they went from Washington State to their home congregation in Chicago just so she could get baptized before they got married. She did it. No, she's like, okay, this is what my husband wants, my future husband wants to do. Let me do that. So we
Yes.
met them there in Chicago. We met there.
Wow.
And it was funny because we were there for another reason, but he said they were going there. I was like, oh, at the same time. Yeah. So we were able to go there. She got baptized and had the support she needed in Yah. And it was just a beautiful thing. And then here we are, month and a half later, they decided we're not doing no big wedding right now. We're just going to be right. We're going to do this. And they did it. They went, they got her. It was so funny. I mean, the man who married them, he's a minister, but he was also her electrolysis man. And I was like, your electrolysis man was a minister? She's like, yeah. So it was an amazing, just, it just all was so amazing to me. And I didn't go because of the flight and all that stuff. I don't want to fly to Washington State right now. St. Louis, but I was able to do everything right there from the Zoom. And, you know, I was like, move the camera so I could see, you know, so we did everything on Zoom. So I'm just thankful for technology that I could be there in that manner. But I said all that to say, yes, I'm so happy for them. And I thank y'all. Not only that, I mean, I got married last year. So it's
congratulations.
So it's like so many things, and Yah is just so amazing. And when you are following him and doing what you're supposed to do, he will put things in place. Now, you all, I mean, this just dropped in my lap that, okay, now you all are having this. And then my son got married and I'm like, oh yeah, this would be the perfect gift for them. Because of course, people think about just meaningless things that are going to pass away. But giving them tools in their marriage is definitely going to be something that they need, you know. So I'm just so thankful to Yah. And I would encourage others, like if you are married and you're like, I don't know if I want to do it. Okay, you don't know if you want to do it, but I'm sure you know people who would like to do this. Maybe they, for some reason, don't have the 199 and it's tight for them right now. So we need to be better about equipping each other in the community, you know. We should be supporting one another. And we'll talk about that too.
That's what it's about, you know. I can't tell you how many countless investments that I've made in myself and my husband's made in himself in different areas. And you take that investment, and if you're able to do it, and then you teach others, you know. And so you may have, you know, bit the bullet and paid the price, but it's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yes. And what is it? If you teach a man to fish, you know, and that's what you're doing, you're teaching a man to fish, you know, because well beyond what you are equipping them with, they'll be able to utilize it later on in other relationship issues and just in life in general. So I think that it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about specifically the package within itself. And then you also have a WONI listeners discount. So let's talk about those things.
Yes. So in the registration fee, what's included is you have a half day of insightful and impactful sessions. Which is centered around, you know, reigniting the flame in your marriage, or, you know, like for your son and your daughter-in-law, they could be getting the tools that they need when, because it's not a matter of if, it's when. They start to, you know, wane and wax, and they'll have some tools from the get-go to hopefully those wings are less common than not, you know what I mean? So, you know, so they'll have that. It's an interactive virtual setting, so we'll be doing it over Zoom. We'll also have like breakout sessions and things like that. And then they're going to get a PDF journal for note taking that they'll be able to use, and that will be delivered via email. They'll have a Reignite t-shirt that we're going to send out to them And this is post-retreat.
Mhm.
Also, we're going to give them a 30-minute individualized coaching session. So each marriage that attends will have a 30-minute session personally to be able to talk about whatever they may be going through, or, if they need assistance in any area.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then also we have a special gift. That's a little bit of a surprise that we want to send, but that will also go in the mail post-retreat. And then all WONI listeners will receive a 10% discount using coupon code WONI10 at checkout.
Okay, so you all listen to that, WONI 10 at checkout. When you use that code, you will receive a 10% off discount. How about that? And of course, I mean, if you're already listening, then hey, you are already in there. But like I said, why not gift this to yourself? Why not gift this to others in the community? I mean, we definitely need to make sure that we are doing that. And we also want to just make sure that you all are spreading the word concerning WONI. Because we have some gems in our community, like brother and sister here. They are helping us to restore what Yah has put in the beginning of time. This wicked system in this wicked world has done a great job of performing Satan's work. But now it's the time of restoration. And that's what this is, relationship restoration. I mean, we cannot go wrong with investing in ourselves, because Yah has provided. And, the word says he provides a way of escape. What are we trying to escape? We're trying to escape the trials of this world concerning our relationships. So this is definitely a way of escape. And we thank you so much for it. Now, do you all have anything else that you want to share with the listeners? Because we are excited to go ahead and purchase this.
Okay, so you can just go purchase the ticket, and the ticket is per couple. So you only need to buy one ticket per couple.
Okay.
It's $199, but you get the 10% discount if you are a WONI listener.
Okay.
And then also remember to complete the registration, because I need to know, what your size of t-shirt is. I want to know how long you're married. So it's some questions that's right on the website, www.rrcoach.net/events. And that's where you'll be able to find it. You'll be able to go right there to it.
Now you have a show on WONI too. Oh, there you go.
Yes.
I was going right there. Go ahead.
And so we do. We have our segment on every Tuesday. And we air at 7:15, 11:15, 3:15, and 7:15 again, Eastern Standard Time. So that's 7:15 a.m., 11:15 a.m., 3:15 p.m., and 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then you can, like I said, go to the website, www.rrcoach.net, email address, rrcoach@outlook.com. And then we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and SoundCloud.
You are everywhere.
We trying. Look, we're trying to get our presence a little bit better on social media, because we're not the best with social media. We really not, but we're working on that. That's our area.
Well, you got the teenagers. The teenagers, sometimes they'll help you out. That's what I and I think that they're amazing. Once they help you, it's like, whoa, how did you know how to do that? But it's crazy. Exactly. Yes, they are geniuses. I mean, I remember my daughter, she picked up my phone one day and went through it. She was like, your apps are so disorganized. I didn't know that was a thing for your apps to be disorganized. And she sat there and put all my apps in categories. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that I could actually do that, but thank you so much. I mean, their minds completely just, they work differently.
Yeah, my children, they get upset if I have too many things going on in the back. They're like, you need to close these out.
It's like, no, what if I need to go back to it? What if, yeah. It is so funny though. I mean, they just think differently, and it is definitely a blessing. So we have to continue to, ask Yah to help us work with it appropriately instead of being destructive, which we do sometimes destructive. But yeah, so we want to thank you for joining us here. It's been a great session. I look forward to, like I said, working with you all in the future. I remember when I heard you on WONI, I was like, I remember I was sitting over in the corner in my chair. I was like, I need to contact them. And that was a year ago. So now here we are. We got to talk, and I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm excited for things in the future. Maybe soon you'll have an in-person retreat. I'll be right there. Y'all are in New Jersey?
We're in Delaware.
Oh, Delaware. Okay.
Yes.
I've never been to Delaware. Okay.
Nobody has.
Yeah.
You said nobody has?
It's a small place. Somebody has, but you know.
We're like in between New Jersey, Philadelphia, and Baltimore.
Mhm.
Yes.
So a lot of times with Delaware is literally on a 95 corridor.
Yeah. People usually drive through Delaware.
Right. Yeah, I've been up in the area. Last year we were in Maryland, but yeah, Delaware, I'm not opposed to new places. So hey, you know what? We decide to have it in Delaware. We'll be on the first thing with an engine, not an airplane, but yeah, we'll be in a car. We'll come. We'll definitely come. But we want to thank you so much for taking time with us. You know, we are family already because we are WONI focused. You know, shout out to Brother Craig who puts it all together so well. And we just look forward to what Yah is doing in the kingdom. And I want to thank you both for joining me.
Thank you so
thank you
much.
for having us, sis.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Okay, everybody. It's been a long session. I feel like I actually had a session. So, you know, we definitely need to support this endeavor because Yah is building here. So let's be a part of it. But yeah, this is Cece, WONI Community Focus, and we will talk again soon.